Good morning, everyone. Students, yesterday we have discussed about the modern scientific technique. Today we will be discussing differences between time study and motion study. Although we have discussed these points separately, right? We have discussed in the scientific techniques, time study separately and motion study also, and you know it's detailed, but still let's talk about it in a differential way. First point is meaning. And here it's telling time study is conducted to find out the standard time for performing a task. Means what for the time study is done? Standard time for performing a task. One work will be done in how much time? What is the standard time for that, right? And motion study, that is done to find out total movements of the workers while they are on the work. When they are doing work, so how much movements are taking place, fine. Now, second one is purpose. For what time study is done and for what motion study is done. So, it's telling about the time study. We just do it to find out standard time to fix a fair day's work. Means how much work one is supposed to do in a day, right? So, for this we do the time study. And motion study is to be done to eliminate the wasteful and unproductive movement of the worker. We know that when a person is on work, certain unproductive movements are there, just roaming here and there. So they want to find out how much productive time is there and how much waste time is there. So they just want to eliminate the wasteful time. Fine. So motion study is done. Next one is method of conducting. Which methods has been followed? For the time study, you must be knowing we have used the stopwatch. Okay, with the help of stopwatch, they are doing the time study. And for motion study, they use the movie cameras. Cameras are installed at the different places and they keep a close watch on the workers, ki how much time they are taking to complete their work and how much wasteful movements are there. Right, students? Now, next we have comparison between Taylor and Fayol. Here the first point of difference is concern. So Taylor's technique and principles are concerned with the worker's efficiency. Pay attention, students. Taylor is emphasizing on workers' efficiency and Fayol is emphasizing on management's efficiency. Okay. Next one is your level or perspective, you can say. Taylor approaches from lower level in the organization. He is emphasizing on the lower level and Fayol is emphasizing on the higher level. Okay. Third one tells emphasizes. Taylor laid great emphasis on the standardization of work. Fine. And here Fayol laid great emphasis on the functions of managers. Here you can see that Taylor is emphasizing on the workers area and Fayol is emphasizing on the managers area. Fine. So here the standardization of work and here functions of managers. Next one, focus. Taylor laid focuses on the eliminating the wasteful movements and saving energy of workers that you have seen in the motion study and time study, eliminating the wasteful movements. Fine. And here he is focusing on the development of the principles for better management. Fine. He has developed 14 principles. Next one is major contribution. Taylor's main contribution tells Taylor's main contribution was the development of the scientific techniques. Taylor has contributed to develop the scientific techniques and he has contributed to develop 14 principles of the general management. Now next, if we talk about the personality, so Taylor proved himself as a father of scientific management because he has invented the scientific techniques. And here Fayol has been proved himself as a father of journal management as he has given the 14 principles of the general management. Now, unity of command. He emphasized on 8 bosses. We have studied there were the different gang bosses and all. So we have divided in 2 parts. Gangs were there and the bosses were there. So he has divided the whole management in 8 bosses. Fine. And here he has emphasized on one single boss only. As we have studied, the direction should be given or command should be given. Next point is your expression. Taylor's technique are expressed as scientific management. We call all the techniques given by the Taylor as scientific management, and here this is accepted as general theory of administration. And the last one is applicability. Where do we apply the Taylor's principle? It's applied to the specialized situation. Any special situation arises, then we apply, and here it is